Good day, everybody. For once, I can say good morning to all my fans here on the west coast of the United States. We've got people from all over the world joining me today, and this is going to be an exciting show. Before I get started, I just want to mention that you can now listen to Theory of a Blind Man on Apple Podcasts as well as Google Music Play podcast. That's a mouthful, I know. Just ask Alexa to play Theory of a Blind Man. We've got you covered. And again, I want to thank Joe Quirk for introducing me to Anchor.fm. Seriously, 5 minutes. I had my first episode uploaded. 10 minutes, I was monetized. It's super simple and easy. So just hit one of those links in the description box. It will take you there. And also, too, all of our panel participants' links for their games or companies are below. So you can click right on one of their names. We are right now on Facebook Live, Theory of Blind Man, as well as YouTube.com. So first, what we're going to do is we're going to bring in each panel one at a time and do about a couple-minute intro for each of them. And I'm going to start off with, let's do it alphabetically. David Oliva. Welcome, good sir. Thank you for coming in. You want to
Oh, thank you very much. So I'm David from Finland. I run a company called My True Sound, and we do audio games which also have visuals. Recently, we launched Audio Wizards, and it has been a succeed. At least critics have been very great. Sellings are, well, we will talk later about it. But we like what we do. We are very interested in sound and in the possibility of playing all type of games just based on audio. And that was
awesome. Thank you, good sir. And what's your top game right now?
It's Audio Wizards.
Audio Wizards.
Yeah, a battle mode game. Pretty difficult.
Yeah, actually, it is, sir. That is a difficult game.
Yeah, it came a bit. Yeah, I had quite many challenges to pass the last levels. Actually, I have 2 levels to get it done.
Yeah. Awesome.
But I like it. Yeah.
Right on. Thank you. Next, we're going to go with Joe Quirk. H-I-J. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to take that back. Harry Cooper. How you doing, good sir?
Hey, man. Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for having me. First of all, great to be here and talking audio games. So I'm the lead Unity developer at Purple Jam Limited, and I do a lot of the foundation of the audio as well. And we've just finished the Kickstarter for our first audio game, which is called ADuskLightStory. It's set for release in October of next year, and prior to that, we're going to be releasing a series of smaller audio games.
Awesome. Thank you for joining me again. And also, I don't know if David, you mentioned it, but you're in Finland and Harry here is in the UK. And next up, we got Joe Quirk from Mental Vision, Circus Master Revenge. How you doing, sir?
Good.
You want to do a little bit of an intro?
Everybody knows who I am.
Yeah, but we may have at least one new viewer. I don't want to leave anybody out.
Yeah, Joe Quirk, and owner and creator of Mental Vision Games LLC, and I have become good buddies with Harry and Dave, and we all put this together, and I'm just glad we could all be here together to make this awesome thing happen.
Yeah, it has been really amazing, and I'm just thankful for you, Joe, because you are the one that really got this started. If I was never introduced to you, I don't even know how. No, that's right. Okay, so Joe's been a long time viewer of my YouTube channel, and finally he stepped out of the YouTube live chat closet and spoke up. And ever since we've been buddies, we've been friends. So, and then he introduced me to Harry and David. So thank you very much for getting this going, getting the wheels going.
Somebody had to, right?
Yeah, somebody's got to do it. So, so next I want to kind of go over how each of you got into audio gaming specifically. So same order as before. If you guys want to take it away, David, go ahead.
Okay, my story is a bit weird, not weird, but so I've been working about 15 years in acoustics. I think I have done all type of measurements you can do with a microphone, and I was tired a bit of those tasks, and then I wanted to take that experience I have about sound propagation. I wanted to take it into the gaming field, like virtual reality or just normal gaming. So as I work in the university, I went to ask the boss of that group, like, hey, I know a lot about sound. I want to put it in the games. And he said, yeah, that's cool, but I don't have money to pay your salary. So I didn't handle to make that move. And then I thought, like, well, perhaps I make my own company and we concentrate on audio games. And we ask blind people to give us a hand. And if we get the audio perfectly, with that with those fellows, and then they like and then we make audio games, then I will be able to come back to that team where they were doing like games with visuals.
Nice.
So that boss that was not liking me very much, then he said, yeah, you can do it, don't worry, I don't think you will succeed, and so on. Also my wife said to me like, well, I'm not sure, David, you will be able to do that. So it has gone already 2 years. I think the company has been kind of successful, and I made the move actually at the end to that other group of the gaming. I actually teach in that group now game physics to university students. So I think it has been a very cool adventure, and it has helped me a lot also to realize that I can do actually whatever I want, that I should not put limits to myself, and nobody should put me limits. And I was just a physicist with a lot of experience in sound, and now I'm much more than that. So I'm very happy that actually audio games changed my life.
That is amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I didn't catch
You're
it,
welcome.
but are you visually impaired or blind as well?
No,
Okay.
no,
Okay.
no. But I think I'm a person with a huge empathy. And as soon as I started to investigate a bit the field, I was very disappointed that blind people will not have a work opportunity in a field where in principle they are the best, like the best listeners. So that's what we wanted to do. We at the beginning we have that dream that one day all our workers, or at least half of them, might be blind, because for sure programming is possible and to make sound edition. And we didn't succeed on that. We had for a very long time one blind guy with us. Eventually, at some point, he decided to leave. But we have had a lot of beta testers and really close like work with blind people. So it has been very interesting thing. And I have learned a lot. 2 years ago, I didn't know what blind people will be experience, how hard will be their lives, and now I understand a little bit more, and I'm very glad that I have tried to help. So far didn't help so much, but we go that line.
Well, it's like one of the segments we'll talk about later will be the technologies and where audio gaming really is going, and I think it has come so far, and every little bit does help evolve the possibilities for blind gamers. So I definitely appreciate what you do, David.
You're welcome.
And I hate to do this, but if you guys are not talking, if you are able to mute yourself, that would be awesome, because we are getting a little bit of echo. I think it's from speakers. I don't know who. Yeah, so anyway, Sir Harry, you're up.
Hello, cool. Yeah, that's a really interesting story, by the way. And it's really before I go into how I got into it, it's great to be able to talk to other people making audio games, because other than yourselves, I don't think and obviously the other people in my company, I haven't actually really spoken to many other people making in the field. So it's really interesting. How I got into audio games was through an interest in spatial music and explorable music. So I've just finished a master's degree at university, and right at the start of that, we had a perceptual technologies module, which involves creating these ambisonic, so 3D audio soundscapes. And I found that whole process fascinating, and learning about the perceptual mechanisms and biases that go into spatial hearing. But not everyone has a 32 3D speaker rig in their rooms. So how do you condense that down? And that turns into binaural. And so I started making these little 3D environments based on just sort of musical ideas, but music within a space rather than over a period of time, and exploring, walking around those and making them in Unity and doing a little bit of coding and such. And then I thought, well, how do you direct a player through that sort of space using just audio? And once you're thinking about that, you're kind of getting into gameplay. And so once you're getting into gameplay, you think, right, where is this world set where I'm putting these elements of audio-based gameplay in? And then from then it just sort of snowballs into what mechanics can I make from these set of parameters, and et cetera, et cetera. So that's sort of my introduction into it. And since starting developing the game, I've then sort of gone back and played what's sort of been done so far and tried to find out what is currently being made that will be the pinnacle, sort of match what we're doing to that higher end, what's being made currently. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it. And okay, so Joe, Mr. Captain Kirk, you're up.
Well, I got into audio gaming just being a visually impaired gamer, and decided one day, if I could write a book, maybe I could write a video game. So I just started creating a game from how I would want to experience it as a visually impaired person. And it took me about 5 months, 6 months to get a rough draft put together, designing the characters and the dialogue and all that stuff, and how the game function would work, and what the gamer would actually experience while playing, what sounds and what that kind of stuff. So I found a company called IndusNet Technologies in India, and submitted my rough draft to them, and they had never done an audio game for accessibility before or ever. So this was something new for them, and they jumped on it, and the Circus Master was born. So during that process, I heard a man named Dawid on a podcast interview with Jesse Anderson, BGFH, and I listened to his interview, and I said, I gotta reach out to this guy. He sounds like an interesting person, and I sent Dawid an email and said, hey, I'm Mental Vision Games and Circus Master, and I'd like to chat with you for a minute, just to kind of pick your brain about audio games in general. And we became buddies right away. And yeah, I think our actual first conversation, we talked for about an hour and a half. Just going over the struggles and the frustrations and that kind of stuff, and how to do this and how to do that, as far as networking and reaching the visually impaired community, to let them know, hey, this is what's this is what's going on, and just to inform the visually impaired gaming community. So then I also, I don't know about, was it maybe June or July, I was listening to a podcast, and I think Jesse, I listened to Jesse Anderson's kind of he did a walkthrough on the Kickstarter for Harry's Pitch Black, and I said, well, man, I got to check this out. So I called David, and I said, "Hey, man, this guy Harry from Pitch Black, he's a new game developer for audio games." I said, you think we should reach out to him and make buddies with him, you know?" And David said, "Go, Joe. Take care of it, man. Let's do it." So then friendships were born.
Yeah, and that is really awesome because I think it's real important for a community like this to come together and have not only a healthy competition, but to be able to bounce ideas off of each other for the end goal to be a better product for the end user. So when
Right.
all these ideas come together, and we all have our individual ideas as far as the games go. So yeah, the next thing I wanted to talk about going on those lines is the technologies involved in the games and also your guys' individual perspective of the current state of affairs as far as audio gaming goes. Do you find it hard to connect with other developers to find out how things are going, what direction things are going? What are some of your resources or your go-to inspirations to help you develop the game that you guys have developed? And really quick, I want to give a couple shout outs. See It My Way One's in the chat and Canadian Witches. Thank you guys for joining. And we will get to chats after each segment for your input, so stay tuned. So who wants to go first on that?
Just keep the order.
Okay. Let's keep it nice and organized. OCD like. Go ahead, Dave.
Okay, so, well, technology, we are actually using Unity to develop the games. And we have been testing like the different audio plugins that there are in there, like the Google Resonance and a couple more. And then actually for the audio wizards, we ended up using just the Unity normal audio because we didn't need to do so much 3D. Before that, before the audio wizards, we launched a demo which was called Gold Gun, and it was a first-person role-play game. It was a demo, not a game, and it was a bit catastrophic because we launched it like quite early. Audio was not perfect. It was actually, now looking backwards, it was quite bad. And then the script, well, it had a point. We were planning to launch. It was impossible for us to make the whole game at once, so we wanted to split it in episodes and then see what's happening. So, and then in the game, the main character was a blind policeman, and blind community didn't like that much. We make 3 errors in the script when we talk about blindness, but the thing is that it's always the same when people that don't know, never have treated a blind guy or a lady, perhaps they don't know how to behave. And that was actually the point of the script, that bit by bit, things will get fixed. In any case, yeah, we decided to stop. But in there, we were using our own algorithms, our own audio engine. That's the one we developed with that friend, Mikko. And now it's in the computer, but it's not in use anymore. So let's see. It's a problem of funding. We would like to do more to the technology. We have been developing our own audio game engine. We realized at some point that, hey, actually we could build a plugin for Unity to make audio games faster than normally. Because in our games, if we make a first-person role-play game without visuals, why we should use all the tools that there are in Unity and are not helping much. Let's make our own tool, our own plugin, and let's move forward. And that's what we call Image, which it was immersive audio game engine. And we have been trying to get actually resources from investors to get some funding. Our idea was that, hey, if we make this tool ready, we actually can make it after that accessible, give it to the blind people, teach them how to use them so that they can make their own games. And that perhaps will be the most beautiful of our company, to give that tool for the guys that want to make audio games. But our main developer left, the one we had at that time, and then we didn't know how to continue. We searched for funding, and it didn't go well. So at this moment, we are concentrating on just doing games which have visuals and which have audio, and that we try that those games can be played by most of the people. We also think that the blind community don't want to have games just for the blind. They want to play the same games as the others. So that's why we decide that, okay, let's make audio games, but we add visuals. So also sighted people will not be so scared about playing those games, because very often we also have experience that if we say we are doing games for the blind people, then somehow sighted people say, no, those might be very easy for us or not interesting. So then they don't even try.
Yeah.
So we are trying to not say the blind word anymore. Just we make games and they are accessible for everybody.
Dawid, what sort of features were you looking to add into your audio engine that you couldn't find available already?
In that image, in that software that we did, actually, well, the idea is a bit basically like how they work video editing software. So basically, you can put all the sounds in there, and then basically you use trigonometry, and you define what's your place, what's the place of the sounds, and how they move with respect to you, the same as in Unity it goes. And then the algorithm adjusts everything. But the main idea is that the game engine focuses on the sounds. So then it's fast enough. It was working, but at this moment it's in there stack in a box. So it's a bit pity, but it was because, as I said, we had a very cool programmer. He was so talented, but at some point he decided to go to another type of company, not even game industry. He wanted to go a hardcore programming company, so he left. There was nothing I could do to retain him. I tried, but he said, no, sorry, I want to do another thing in my life. So, and then the new programmers came with the idea of, we want to make audio wizards. We want to make games, not game engines. So that's one of the reasons why I stopped it in there. Absolutely, we could be open to share the idea with you if that could help your development. I think it's some path that we are not going to continue, at least not at the moment. So for sure, we can share some technology, or at least some of the things we did, if it can help Pitch Black somehow.
Well, it's just something we're quite interested in. I've looked into it a bit. We use Steam Audio, the plugin in Unity. That's how we handle our spatialization. But obviously, it's better if you can have an in-house piece of software that gives you unique spatialization rather than using open source or freeware sort of thing. So it's something we looked at, but I haven't seriously delved into sort of where the gaps are in the current offering. And it's obviously a major investment of time to create a separate plugin rather than just use one you just download. So it's just something I thought about.
That is interesting. Yeah. Really quick. Hey, Independently Blind, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. So, Harry, why don't you take it away now?
What was the original question? Sorry.
Basically, what is your perspective on the current state of affairs of audio gaming, and how are you applying the technologies that you have into your venture?
Right, yeah. So when we first started developing, there were three sort of main spatialization plugins we looked at. There was the Oculus Spatializer, there was Google's Resonance Audio, and there was the Steam Audio system. There's also a couple of more paid options, but at the time we didn't have any funding, so it just sort of wasn't an option. And then once you're deep into development with one system, you then don't want to change. So Steam Audio was the one we went for, and it has a lot of great features, and it's not being prohibitive of any ideas so far. So that's good. As regards the advancement of the technological state of things, since 2016, when VR had its big sort of initial boom. There have been things before that, but VR very much relies on HRTFs and stuff for immersive sounding audio. And because there was, I feel like that, hello, that technological development has been spurred because there's now money pumped into VR, which means people who make spatial audio companies have more funding to make stuff like that. So
Right.
sort of my ideas on it. It would be interesting. It's a shame that Steam Audio and particularly Google Resonance stopped updating. Google Resonance haven't had an update in ages. And initially we were going to use that because it has a much smaller footprint. One of the issues we're working through at the moment is for the mobile version of our game. You have Google Play, when you upload a APK, only allows for 100 meg. Or at least that's my current experience of it. And so Steam Audio takes up 30 meg of that already. And then when you've got a whole load of high quality uncompressed WAVs, even though they're getting compressed when you put them in, space becomes a real issue. Google Resonance was a lot lighter, but there were just a couple of bugs in it that weren't being fixed, and so we couldn't use it.
Interesting. That is interesting. Really quick, I'm not familiar with the Steam Audio. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so it's just a plugin for Unity essentially. It applies HRTFs to create binaural audio.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
In quite a simple way, and it also does. You can do pre-baked reverb based on the reverb room. So it puts down a bunch of virtual reverb probes, if you will, and then based on the geometry, you can bake in how sounds would be affected by that space. And you can also do that in real time and change the number of reflections to create realistic reverb. It gets a bit CPU heavy when you get realistic reverb, but yeah, that's what Steam Audio is.
Yeah, I would really like to. So what I'm going to do actually is I've got the Hook Audio headset which records in binaural, and
Cool.
I'm going to take my metal tip cane because that's what I use as a gliding tip cane, and I'm going to find actually the perfect area would be a local government building because they've got all marble halls. And I'm going to see if I can record that audio because it's amazing to hear that tapping bouncing off every sound reflective surface in there, and if that could be applied to a game, that would I know it would take up a butt ton of resources, but it would just be amazing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We've been thinking about this a lot. One of the techniques through the university, we have access to an ambisonic microphone. So one of the techniques we're looking to use, rather than applying reverb virtually, is going to spaces that are fairly into what we're trying to recreate virtually. Taking a series of ambisonic recordings in different areas, and then sort of crossfade those as being the ambience tracks for that area. So you take off that CPU load. You got big old ambisonic WAVs, but yeah. So there are ways around it, but you're right. It is very CPU intensive if you try and do it real time.
Yeah, definitely. Before we get to Joe, if you guys have any questions, get them ready because we're going to start some questioning after Joe gives his perspective on the current state of affairs of audio games as well as the technologies and how he's applied them to his game. So, Joe, take it away.
All right. Well, what David and Harry had just said, they might as well be speaking French because I don't understand. But I'm just the brainchild and the idea man, you know. But in I design it. I don't actually write the code and stuff, and I know very minimal what audio, and stuff like that is, but. The current state of gaming, I would say, we're in the right direction. We're, as far as development goes, I wish there was more developers out there willing to make their games accessible, but it's a work in progress, and I understand that a lot of developers I uh, I have run into along the way, um, they don't believe there's a market for these types of games, and I believe that Mental Vision, My True Sound, and Pitch Black, Audio Wizards, and Circus Master Revenge are going to prove them all wrong. And as far as CMR and Audio Wizards go, so far we have proved developers that there is a market here for this community. So I'm proud. I'm proud of what we're doing and where we're growing. We're growing in the right. We're not going. We're growing in the right direction.
Absolutely.
So, and the future is going to be amazing.
I think so too. I definitely. Okay, so how about this, you guys? Take your best guess. Guess. What do you get when Mental Vision, My True Sound, and I'm sorry, Harry, I forgot the name. Purple Jam.
Very good. Yeah.
Okay. So what do you get when you have a three-way marriage and you get a baby that pops out? What do you get when you got Circus Master, My True Sound, and Purple Jam?
I guess based on your two guys' latest games, a first-person exploration shooter RPG, I suppose.
Very, very, very good. Any guesses, Joe?
Yeah, I'd say it'd be a bunch of weird shit that is hilarious and entertaining and very very virtual realistic kind of, and like I've been telling people since I started doing gaming, with an audio game and the immersion that we have access to, and making a game for the visually impaired is in fact making it a virtual reality.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because we're not, the visually impaired community aren't able to use their sight, so they're using what I like to call their mental vision. Plug.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
But before we go on, I wanted to say congratulations to My True Sound for being nominated for the 2019 Accessibility Award for Apple.
You are very welcome, Joe, but you are also nominated, so I also congratulate you.
I didn't know.
I think situation now when we move a bit that I think the situation is quite good because there is going to be at some point a breakthrough when all the companies realize that adding 3D audio to the games is not as difficult as they thought, and that opens the door for actually millions of players, of blind people that before could not play. I don't think they will see it as a market, but they should see that they have to do it.
Right.
It's just a must. Hey, it's possible, so do it and make your games better. Right. And actually, I have that the theory that once you do that, your games are going to be of better quality because they will have 3D sound.
Yeah,
and at this moment, everybody's using mono or stereo maximum.
Yeah, right.
And the time that they realize, hey, let's make 3D sound, actually the quality will rise. So I really believe on that breakthrough. Let's say within 2-3 years. Let's see. Perhaps I'm wrong, but I really hope actually.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it'll be good. And just it's kind of leading into the next segment. So, Dawid, your turn. What do you get when the three of you guys have a baby?
What? Sorry, what's the question?
What do you get? What do you get when Mental Vision Games, My True Sound, and Purple Jam come together and have a game child?
Well, I will say a baby that has to be born.
Yeah.
And
And
yeah, I suppose it's like a crazy sound adventure where everything can happen. You know, in the Circus Master Revenge, you fight against stupid clowns. In Pitch Black, you are going to be, or in the ADuskLightStory, you are in a like crazy, very weird world. I'm actually quite curious to listen the whole story once it's launched. And then in Audio Wizards, you are in a fantasy world with a crazy magician that it's all the time drinking tea.
Yes.
So well, yeah,
Tea
the baby
puppets.
it's a weird one, but it has to be born.
So if any of you guys in the chat or any of you, the three of you, have been watching me for a while since I came across the three of your products, you'll know exactly what I want. And here's a clue. Any guesses?
Music?
Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, shit.
I love the game. Actually,
Yes.
I play it a lot.
Wouldn't that be amazing for an audio version?
Absolutely.
It's tough, man. We've been thinking about open world audio game. It's I don't know. It's something. Basically it depends how well a ADuskLightStory sells. If it does well, then the next game's open world. That's the goal.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, it's a lot of time. As always.
Yeah,
So-
and that's kind of what I was thinking about is which will be the next question for three of you once Joe finishes what he was about to say since I interrupted. But where audio gaming is going, and I really So first I came across, I believe, Circus Master Revenge first, and then obviously Pitch Black, and then Audio Wizards. And once I got a sample of the three of those together, the first thing I thought about was open world gaming. So I think, at least from my perspective,
It's possible.
I think that's where the audio gaming world is going. So go ahead, Joe. Sorry.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to say that when My True Sound and Purple Jam and Mental Vision come together and have a game baby, it would be a crazy looking kid with a full diaper.
Absolutely. Okay, so so let's go into the hypothetical future of audio gaming. Again, what's your guys' perspective? And this will be an open discussion, so we can just go back and forth, cut each other off, whatever you want to do, and just go ahead and whoever wants to take it away, take it away. Like, do you have any hopes or aspirations for audio gaming? Do you guys have anything in the works that you can reveal? That sort of thing.
Who wants to? Shall I go?
Yeah, go ahead, Aaron.
All right, cool. I'll go. I think for audio gaming, what the important thing is that it becomes, or not becomes, but is more prominent as a genre of game with a series of subgenres that's in mainstream attention. Because once it's got mainstream attention, you then get more development companies and innovating within that space.
Yeah.
So one of the sort of goals we have is on Steam there to be a category that's called audio game, and that to be fully populated with audio games. Any of the
Can I
distribution platforms.
ask a quick question?
Mm-hmm.
When you say on Steam, do you mean Steam as in the website Audio Game Hub Steam?
As in the distribution service Steam.
Okay.
That place is horrible.
Yeah. But as a platform, as a distribution service, it's currently
Yeah.
the main one for PC games, right? So if they have the monopoly, if you can establish audio games on there, that's going to get far more attention to the genre generally, and that will then help to grow it because of attention, finance, and everything else.
Do you actually have numbers? Because this is what I'm curious about. Every single blind person that I've spoken to who has tried to use Steam basically can't.
I did have. I'm just googling now for you.
They're working on it. They're working on it. From what I've heard is Steam is actually actively trying to make their system accessible for the visually impaired, and and I think even I heard a rumor about Oculus even trying to make their stuff more accessible for gaming.
Interesting.
So the future is bright, man. Like I said, and with Microsoft and Sony, trying to make their consoles more accessible. I can't wait till Nintendo Switch does something. That'd be the perfect platform for most audio games. Because in the remote for the Switches, they have the gyroscope and the accelerometers already in it, like they did with the Nintendo.
The Wii.
The Wii, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So, if they're able to do that, then the sky's it's endless of possibilities for gaming. And that's I'm hoping that's where we're going is, and what Dave was saying earlier, if people are willing to add their audio engines and that stuff for immersive audio and 3D sound, then it by accident games will become accessible.
Yeah, that's very, very true.
There's a great game actually being developed at the moment called Lost and Hound. Let me find the name of the developer. But that's a sort of standard game that's coming out on Nintendo Switch and PC, I think. And built into that are 3D audio-based mechanics.
Nice.
So it's just a game that's being released that is completely accessible because of the very nature of how it's been developed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me find that guy.
For Harry or David, have either of you played Mortal Kombat 11, and is that sound considered 3D, or is that still just stereo? Because I'm able to play Mortal Kombat 11 completely blind because of its sound, but I'm just curious, what kind of sound engine is it, if you know?
I really don't know. I haven't played, not even open. I know it's playable, and that there are in the community people playing it, but I really can't answer your question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. Some most developers in a mainstream platform, they're not willing to reveal what engines they use for their mechanics. So
Yeah.
they're and a lot of it's like I said, it's a top secret classified GS13. So
Well, I mean, like, for example, some people that are in the know of certain things, and we could use programming, for example, it's like, oh, do you use Swift? Everybody else would be like, what is Swift? But anybody that knows programming knows what Swift is. So that's what I was just kind of hoping. Like, if you recognize a layout or a format or a soundscape or something like that, a lot of people can pick those things up. So I was hoping to pick someone's brain.
this brain's empty.
Same.
Okay, so where were we? Let me go to the chat really quick, see if there's any questions. Not yet. Okay, good.
Ask away, guys.
Yeah, that's what they are here for. And it's really exciting to see the three of you guys here together, because I think there's three different perspectives here, all with pretty much the same end goal. And if we just had more people like that, you guys could develop such an amazing community as far as developers go. You know what I'm saying? To be able to provide high quality. I think, David, you were saying that earlier about a pre-mold or pre-programmed type of plugins that anybody can use to make their own audio games. And I've been researching myself lately on how I can make my own stuff. Like, I want to make my own app and my own audio game and all sorts of little stuff. So yeah, that would be really cool if those sorts of build your own games.
I can comment, and actually it comes pretty fine with that question, like what's the future of audio gaming? And in theory, it will be good, but also it's true that for us developers, it's not going to be easy. We know that there is a market. We know that there are actually, our estimation is that there is over 1 million blind people who could be rated as active players. And about 20 million people blind use a mobile phone daily. So there is a market. But when we launched it, Audio Wizards, we actually, now we have discovered that actually a willingness to pay is not so huge. Community is asking for games. Oh, I wish there will be more games for us. I wish blah, blah. And then we say, okay, we have done this game. It's cool. But we need to pay the salary. So we are sorry, we can't give it for free. I need to pay my programmers, otherwise they leave. And then we say, okay, the game is that long. We are going to add some new things. So we put €5. I mean, €5 is comparable to a cheap hamburger. And then we find out that people don't buy it. And we follow the audio forums, audio game forums, Applebee's, audiogames.net, and people is saying, I wish I could buy it. The other day we gave a free copy of the game to one fellow that already had the game. So he went to the audiogames.net and said, hey, I have a free copy. Who won it? And then suddenly there were 30 messages almost in there, like me, like many people asking for it. And the people that know the game was good, worth, but say, no, I'm not going to spend the money on it. And I think as long as the community doesn't change the mentality and thinks, okay, things cost, we are not going to get all the time like free games, or we might get them, but they are going to be weak. They are going to be bad, or they will have in-app purchases or things. And that then I will have to pay. And as long as there isn't actually, in my opinion, a change in the community to understand that everything costs, a hamburger, a Coca-Cola, a trip on Uber, everything costs. And we are not asking about a huge price. We were talking about a small quality, so a small amount. So that's the thing. How far can we go doing audio games if we don't get that support from the community? Oh, we want games, but okay, we provide them, but we need to make the business, and we are not talking about becoming a millionaires. I'm only talking that I can pay my programmers. I actually, at this moment, I don't need money for myself because I work full-time in university. So I'm not doing this because of the money, but I need to pay the other guys.
Yeah,
so
it's really interesting because, like, I totally hear what you're saying, and I get it, and that's why every game that I like, I do buy. Because, I mean, there seems to be some kind of logical disconnect in a huge amount of those people that you're experiencing saying, I want it for free. It's like, well, do you think sighted people or anybody else is like, oh, but I want the games for free?
Well, then tell them, go play Facebook games. They're free.
Exactly. And to a certain extent, yeah, like sure you can play the game, but then you start getting into stuff where you have to buy things, basically like an in-app purchase type of stuff.
Right. That's why I gave Circus Master for free. I was going to charge, but I figured, I wanted people to, to actually experience it and get a chance to play it. And if they want to spend money on it to make the game easier, they can do, they can upgrade their stuff or whatever, extend their health bar, to make it easier for them. I had a question for Dave. For Audio Wizards, what was your traction report? Do you know how many countries you've been downloaded in for Audio Wizards?
Well, in quite many. I think I don't check it, but so far the sales can't pay the salaries. Right. So basically, we will not have had some support from funding instruments. We will be bankrupt already. Yeah, and that will have been the end of the story. We are working hard. We are sacrificing. The team, it's quite committed to the thing, and we know we have money until next summer. So because of the funding we got some support from the European community when we told about our game engine and so on. But yeah, it's going to be tight and hard.
Mm.
So that's actually why we need to start to make games that don't rely only on the blind community as a client, but in the whole gaming community.
But I think the same way, David. If we start out though with an audio game for for the visually impaired community, our games are directed that way. Then if we make a game that has the ability to be played by everyone and it's interesting enough, then the visually impaired will automatically know, well, hey, My True Sound made this game. It's got graphics and whatever, whatever for the, but I know that they make their games accessible, so I can play it too. So at least we started out making our video games accessible and mainstream just for that community. That way, when we grow and we change our avenues as far as gaming goes, we still have the following of the visually impaired community, and they trust our games, knowing when they put their first foot forward, and the game costs money, they'll feel comfortable spending the money because they already know that these games from this developer is going to be accessible for them to play.
Yeah, that's a good point. The thing with it's funny, the whole microtransaction thing gets a bad reputation. I understand why, but because the assumption, like if you look at the top grossing games on the iOS store or Play Store, they're all free to play with in-app purchasing. And so even like 99p or 99 cents is such a barrier to entry for most gamers, visually impaired or not. It's what it is. So I think the only way really, I don't know, I'm very new to this, but from research I've done is you have to make a little bit of your game free to get people hooked, and then they'll spend money. But the upfront expenditure, even if it's less than £1, it's just too much for most people on the mobile platform, at least.
I'm agree, Harry, and perhaps we did the error when we make the audio widgets and we thought, okay, it's good, it costs €5 and that's it. Once you buy it, it's yours forever. And perhaps it would have been clever to make it free with in-app purchases, so then people has a chance to test it and then they can continue or not. But at least the mouth-to-mouth will be faster. When we realized about that, it was too late.
Yeah.
We could have made the code to change it, but then we thought, let's move on. Let's make a new game. And the guys were already having some ideas on their mind, what's the next? And they say, okay, we are going to make an update with 5 new levels because we had an idea, we want to do it, but let's move on. And next game, we think better the monetization system. And so no any regret. But yeah, it's definitely a very tricky thing. Yeah, because there is that barrier. But then on the other hand, do I want to make a game that perhaps it's free and it has enough purchases, and then I get some people like hooked so much that they can spend €100? That's not actually what I want. I don't want to make a lot of money from very few individuals. Like in the casino, some people goes and spends all their money. That's not what I want. It's just, hey, I give you a piece of pizza and it costs $5, and after that you don't buy more. But that pizza never ends. Actually, I don't know. I don't want to be that type of gaming system that gets all the money from some people that get very hooked to something.
I understand that can happen with games where you purchase gold or have consumable items. But if you have non-consumables like levels or abilities that you bought there, that's it. And so maybe over the course of your whole game, you might sell someone £12 worth of stuff. And I can't spend more than that because it's non-consumables.
Right.
At least the approach when we're doing our mobile games next year, we're doing it sort of level by level, and that's it. So you're not going to be a casino. You understand what?
Right.
Yeah. I
Really
remember.
quick, hold on, Joe, really quick.
Okay.
Brett has a statement, I guess, in the chat, and I would like to remind everybody that the title of this video is what is the state of audio gaming? I can't personally speak on low vision type of gaming. I don't know what's required of making screens bigger or whatever. If that is something that you are interested in me covering, I could find game developers that are in that specific area. So anyway, and thanks for watching, Brett. I appreciate your comment. Go ahead, Joe.
What I was saying is when I was curious starting out how much to sell Circus Master, and during game development, during testing for Circus Master, that was one of the survey questions I asked to the testers. How much would you be willing to spend for this game? And one tester that pops out in my head, I can't forget it. You should sell this game for $20 $20 US on the App Store. I said, no, I want people to play it. So,
You know what though? I would have paid $20 for that, honestly.
yeah, but if you never played it before, and you might have heard something about it, but you didn't go on YouTube to like see whoever played it, and maybe they did a walkthrough or something.
Mm-hmm.
You would, that's gonna scare you away.
Yeah.
So what Dave was trying to say earlier is if you give the game away for free, like we did with Circus Master, and you have in-app purchases, but still not making, we didn't make it pay to play.
Right.
You can play it. You might not be able to be very great at it because you don't have the stuff that we added to the in-app purchase to make it a little easier for you if you get stuck. But if you make it a game that's free to play, and with the option to purchase, then purchase items in the game, and then by doing so, you actually earn free stuff.
Yeah.
Then it's not so bad. And we were actually thinking we're going to be doing an update for Circus Master. Hopefully, yeah, we're planning on doing the update before Christmas as a Christmas present to everyone for hanging in there, and but yeah, we're not trying to make games that are pay to play. If you have Audio Wizards or Pitch Black that you buy once and it's yours to have, then that's not really pay to play. If you have to buy a game and then have in-app purchases to get to a new level, then that's considered pay to play. If I have to pay you money just to finish the game every step of the way, then I'm not going to want to play it.
And Tonetastic agrees with you. Also says, I also hate when people just demand games for free. I think they should support the developers and pay the full cost of the games. And then Brett says again, 99 cents is not micro. What is considered a microtransaction? I think personally, because it is point something, that kind of defines it as micro, does it not? Because it's a part of a whole, so it's not macro, it's micro, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose it's I guess to me, microtransactions just means sort of less than £2 buying consumable items.
Yeah.
That's sort of what it means to me, but that could be wrong.
Yeah.
Something for us to Google, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the, but I think it's based on the idea that you could buy many times something which is very small, but based on that idea that you purchase many times, and which, please understand me right, it's really a valid like business model or a
Yeah.
monetization system for a game. Okay, if that's how it should go, that I'm making a purchases, I have no problem. And actually, our next game most probably will have that. We need to test it.
Yeah.
What's the thing? Because also going back to the future of audio gaming. Well, we have been trying to reach investors, publishers, like bigger gaming companies to say, hey, we have that concept, perhaps we can do it together. And then they say, we need numbers. We need to know what's the market. And it's very cool. You tell me there are millions of blind people, but just show me the numbers.
Exactly.
And so I need to show the numbers of how many games you can sell, how much money you can do with microtransactions, how much money you can do in the other way. So I can show this data to those people.
Right.
So absolutely, we are going to try. I don't say it's a bad, but
you're not gonna want somebody to play your game and have to spend 99 cents to get 10 lives or something like that. So if they die 10 times, then they got to spend another 99 cents to keep playing. That's to me.
I don't like that way. I don't like that way. I prefer like as Harry is saying that you pay per a new episode, per a new level, or that you are getting things that are limited, not like more money. I think we should also have some kind of ethics.
Well, that depends though. That depends. If let's say Pitch Black has you get so far into you beat the game, for instance, right? And then for an extra 99 cents or whatever, you get the bonus level. With an extended ending or something. Something that you don't really have to have, but it's an option. That wouldn't be, to me, that wouldn't be considered a microtransaction either, because it's an extended version of the game. And it adds a new avenue to it, and it's not necessary to do it unless you really like the game, and in that way you're able to support the developer, and actually it's an added entertainment value to the game.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it is interesting to see, like, for example, Audio Wizards is on iOS. Yes.
Yes.
Pitch Black.
Also Android.
Okay.
And it's actually coming to PC within weeks.
Oh,
cool.
We are going to try. Let's see.
And then Pitch Black, you're going to be on iOS as well, right?
Well, PC, Android, iOS.
And Joe, Circus Master, is on iOS, right?
Yeah, I just started my Google development account about a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. So it won't be too much longer before we're on Android. But from what I've been able to do to research, there's not many visually impaired gamers on the Android platform. So
that's exactly what I'm about to bring up. My point being is that many people have an iPhone. iPhones are not cheap, people, whether or not you're doing the pay by month type of plan and then your cell phone plan. So I know where you're all coming from. You can spend a few bucks on some of these games to help support these developers that are putting these out for us, so we can be a part of that type of consumer society.
Yeah, this crap is expensive, man.
Yeah.
It is.
No. Actually, I have a comment in there. We have been doing some research about what mobile phones blind community has. Mm-hmm. And actually, the situation is very polarized. Like Europe and States, Canada, Australia, Japan, they use iPhones. Mm-hmm. And then rest of the world, where the situation economically is not so nice, it's more on Android. So for sure, I also understand that some people from some countries with less possibilities, they say, well, actually €5, it's like a lot of money for me. It's right. Actually a day's salary. So we understand that thing, and we thought like, hey, perhaps we should put it for free in those countries, just at least for once, or at least at some point. But I think there are a lot of Android players all around the world. But it's true also that they have more challenges to buy the games.
Yeah, from what I was being able to research on Apple for iOS was there is a way to monetize differently through each country. So if there's
It's possible, yeah.
a small country, like I don't know what's a small country, but they're all pretty big. But the small country that maybe their economy is not very strong, and like Dave just said, if it's $5 to us, it might be their whole day wage, in that country. There's a way to adjust that and manipulate that to maybe make it free, or make just for that country, for instance. And then
Yeah.
for people like Harry in England who want to play the same game, we can triple charge it, so it all evens out.
Or yeah,
Thanks,
like
man.
the countries with a higher GDP,
Yeah,
definitely.
That's
Yeah, for sure.
That's Obamanomics right there, man. Make everybody else pay for it, or we can do it the Trump way and make China pay for it. That's what we want to do, right? So, but as far as I understand, since I've only been visually impaired for 6 years now, is people who visually impaired people who first started with accessibility was on the iPhone, and now other phones and other things are starting to add their accessibility to their devices, but the visually impaired community, I know I am set in my ways, and I don't want to have to learn something all over again just to play something. So I'm set in my ways and stubborn, so I'm not gonna drop my iPhone and go to an Android just to and,
I've used, and I don't know how. It's got to be that you started off using an Android, because TalkBack to me, personally, people, is just effing horrible. I can't stand the speech engine. I can't. The gestures. No. But going along the lines of the developers that help out these communities, and some going along the lines of what you just said, Joe, about iPhone. Before the iPhone 3GS came out, which was the first voiceover enabled one, I was using Nuanced Talks and Mobile Speaks, and they were great. I loved them. But when iPhone came out, I think those are just gone. I think Mobile Speaks and Talks are now just vanished. So there is no real other option besides TalkBack and voiceover.
yeah. And I downloaded an app the other day because a friend of mine started writing short stories and stuff, and I downloaded this app to check it out, and I kept hearing button, link. I said, how the hell did Apple let this get on the App Store without a basic screen reader that you have to kind of label what the hell the buttons are?
Oh, you'd be surprised.
I'm like, Jesus. I thought that was like a mandatory thing. If you have an app on the iOS store, it has to be labeled for VoiceOver.
Apparently not, because I come across that stuff all the time.
Well, good thing it was free to download. I would have been pissed if I had paid for it and heard button.
It is the most annoying thing. But you do know that you can label those, right?
I don't know how to, and I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know what they are anyway.
Well, you hit one, see what it does, and then you go back to it, double tap 2 fingers and hold, and you can label it.
I get lost. I wouldn't know what the hell I'm doing. No thanks.
Well, okay, so we got kind of the future of audio gaming. You guys are gonna come together and make my audio version of GTA, and I really thank you guys for that. And I'll expect that in about 2 weeks. And
we're gonna call it the Circus Wizards Go Black.
A bit tight timetable, but we will try.
Okay, so unless there's any other questions in the chat, get your questions ready and tag the person who you want to ask. Otherwise, we're going to start wrapping it up here.
Yeah, don't ask me any questions. I don't have any answers.
Well, I mean, that's why I brought the three of you on, is because all four of us have a completely different perspective.
Yeah.
You know, you got, Joe, you got pretty much the idea of a game and how the general mechanics work. And then My True Sound, you got your end of designing and computer physics, and Harry, you've got the programming behind you, and you got me. Well, I'm just a gamer, but you got four unique perspectives.
You're not just a gamer, man.
In this for this show, I am.
You're the whizzle dizzle. Yeah, we
But-
go ahead.
I was just gonna say. Actually, I lost my train of thought. Anyway.
Good. So we can we can answer some questions and no, I'm not gonna tell you what my address is.
Mine's pretty easy to find, actually. It's all over the web.
And mine is also too easy to find.
Yeah.
So I wanted to say something to Harry, real quick. Harry.
Actually, Harry went to the toilet. He's
Good.
coming pretty soon.
All right, well, let me know when he
But
comes back.
yeah, I could say that I appreciate that comment from Tontastic685. Thanks for saying that thing. So
What do you say?
well, about that thing of the paying games, that it's
Okay. Yeah.
it's not a bad thing to do.
Yeah, we gotta support people. Basically, at this point, it's the mom and pop shop.
Yeah.
So we gotta help support people that are doing something good for us. We shouldn't sit here expect everything for free. It's just that's ludicrous, honestly, if you think about it. Come on.
Well, if we, like Dave was saying earlier, if we can't pay our team to develop these games, for us, then we go away.
No.
Yeah. So here you go, Joe. Go ahead. Harry's back.
Hey, Harry.
Hey, man.
On behalf of Mental Vision and My True Sound, I wanted to say welcome to this community, and I know I myself and Dave and hopefully the rest of the community are very excited to see what your team is able to accomplish, and if you I know I have said this before to you in an email. If you ever need somebody to pick brains, I said me and Dave are here. We're willing to help each other out, and if we have issues, I just wanted to welcome you to the club, my friend, and we wish nothing but success with your game and your future of gaming. So.
Yeah, thanks so much, man. It'd be great if we could set up perhaps a regular thing, even off the air or on the air, to discuss some of the technical aspects of it. I'd love to dive deep into how people.
I would love that.
We could have our own.
Love that.
We could call it the visually, or we can call it the I don't know what. The audio development parliament.
There you go.
The city council. Yeah.
I love details and very specific technical aspects of everything. So I'm totally down for that, Harry. That's a really good idea.
Fab, let's do it.
We just need to be able to inform, give out the information about what's going on with development and what's going on. It's because people are interested, especially the people that are willing to spend money to play these games. They deserve to know how it's going, what we're working on and how we're making improvements. So they're in the loop, and there's not really a platform besides, right now where we're able to do that and kind of feed off each other and answer questions to people who have it.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to continue with that, perhaps if you allow me to tell what are we working now in, perhaps it will be cool to open it a bit. Okay. So at this moment, we are working with two different teams in two different games. The team that made Audio Wizards, as I told, wanted to move on and create the next game. We are really in an early concept stage. Still, we also think we need to think a lot about what the next game is. It's perhaps it's our last chance, and so we really need to make a game that it's perfect, that people leaves from the school and wants to go to play. So we are really considering auto chess games, those ones which are using a strategy, and you put your pieces in there, and then anything can happen. But we will need some couple of months to make like very good design. After that, we start coding. And then with another team, with a team of students who are studying game development, we actually gave them the hot potato of, okay, we have the audio wizards and we want to make the multiplayer version. How would you do it? How does the game need to be so it's cool? That's audio wizards, that's the fantasy world we created, that type of sounds, but now you are free to change it the way you want. And how will it be? Is it a 1 against 1? Is it 5 against 5? Or 1 against the rest of the world? And so for sure we have challenges in there. The biggest is how to open the multiplayer, the communication system between different computers. We will start with a PC version because it's definitely easier to do multiplayer in PC than on a mobile phone. And then we will try to make a migration to iPhones. But those are the two projects we are working on. It will take many months before we can launch our next game, so we will be a bit on a sleeping mode. We were creating another game which was called Music Maze. It was an infinite runner, and we decided to stop the production of that game. We got it so far that we had an alpha version, a version that we played, and then we realized it was not cool, it was not fun. It was okay, but it will not be a bestseller ever. And it sounds the music was that's the pity. The music was fantastic. We had a very nice musician doing it, so it's a pity to see that work that it has gone to the drain. But also based on the experience, if the game is not super cool, it will not sell. So we decide to stop it. This is the first time I speak publicly about what has happened to Music Maze. But yeah, that's the life of a developer. Like actually, it's very common that in game industry, you start to create a game and even the day before launch, you decide, okay, it's not worth. We can't spend all the money we need to spend on marketing because it will never pay off. So that's what's becoming that's what's to be a developer.
It's a hard choice.
It's a hard choice, but yeah, we think it's the right decision because we spent a lot of money on it, and we decided we can't keep spending if we are not sure we will get the money back. So yeah, definitely, it's if people like audio games, they should invest so we can make more games. Not for making us millionaires, but that we can keep doing and then prove to the rest of the world that make audio games, you will have better quality, you will have better experience for all the players in general, but also for the blind, and hopefully they follow.
And I every time I talk to Dawid, I always hound him. I said, you guys got to hurry up and finish Gold Gun, man, because I can't play a game and then not be able to finish it. It's like only eating like 2 bites of your favorite candy.
Like Circus Master Revenge.
Hurry up and finish Gold Gun. I want to play it, Dave.
Well, I think it's very nice that Harry has started to do a first person like audio adventure because it's very challenging. And I think you are going the right line. At least the demo, what I heard, what I play, the audio is good. You have nice voice acting, very nice idea, solid concept. So go ahead because it has to be done. And you are now on the right path. So go ahead with it. I hope you get it done and that we can play it. And that there are thousands of downloads.
Me too.
I want to play Pitch Black, but I don't think I would have as much fun as everyone else because I just spend all my time in the pub.
Well, Harry, why don't you go ahead, since we're talking about Pitch Black now, go on with your future plans. If you if you can or want to share anything.
Yeah, sure. So the full game big release is out in October of next year. Assuming everything keeps to schedule, which it should do, so that's all right. Prior to that, hopefully in January, we're launching a mobile app called the Pitch Black Audio Station, and through that you'll be able to get access to different parts of the Pitch Black universe. So there'll be short audio, like binaural audio books, short 3D audio experiences, a bit like the simulation that was in the demo with the racetrack. I'm not sure if you saw, but where you can move the phone around and it tracks the head, so you get the binaural spatialization. We're also putting some audio mini games in there, so an audio version of Pong, an audio version of Space Invaders, various other arcade things. And then when the full game is ready, we're going to release through that sort of platform. So the idea is sort of inviting people into the Pitch Black universe using a variety of content that's a lot quicker to make than the full game. And then by October to have this sort of group of people who are already quite engaged with the universe on the whole. And then obviously for Kickstarter backers, the full game's free because they've already paid for it. Goes without saying. But for people who are new to it, we're then going to release each level as like a episodic release. So that's sort of future plans for the company. Other than that, keeping the vlogs going, because whilst they don't get loads of views, I think it's good because it means people get to know myself and also Connor and Jordan who are on the team. And it's quite a lot of work actually doing those every week. You'd be surprised about the video editing and stuff that goes into them, but I think it's
I know. I use Final Cut Pro.
I'm sure you do actually. So that's what we're doing.
Nice.
Hey,
nice.
hey, Dawid. Are you writing all this down from Harry?
Yeah. Well,
Right.
I have. I need to write it down because my memory is very bad. So if I don't write it down, it goes over.
Make sure you write it down so we can try to beat him at it and make it better with our stuff. We can and that way.
No, I don't want to go into that competition. And I think it's very good that there are different type of games, and we are aiming for audio games, but a little bit of different topics. We can help. We can talk.
Yeah.
It's not. And actually, Joe, you know that this is the first thing you said to me when we talk.
Yeah.
The first time that we are not competitors, and we are not, because there are a lot of games in the world, but very few audio games. So definitely there is a space for many. And so I have no. It's very good. And as I say, Harry, I'm really happy that somebody is finally doing what I could not do with the cold gun.
Yeah.
And so now it's now you have the hot potato. If you don't succeed, we are going to be upset. So
sorry. I'm telling you guys, if you want a multi-million-dollar selling product, just think about a blind drunk wizard clown, and you got yourself a millionaire.
There you go. Dawid, it seems like the new kid on the block is coming out swinging, man.
Right.
We gotta keep up with him, or we're gonna be left in the dust.
I think, like what we were talking about earlier about the competition aspect of it, this is what I call friendly competition. It's like, oh, look what I learned. And then you pass it on, like, oh, okay, well, can I improve that? And then it just kind of keeps escalating it, not escalating, but, evolving into something spectacular.
Yeah, we're, between Dawid and Harry and myself, I think us becoming friends, and having this kind of a buddy system, we'll be able to improve and help each other, pick each other's brains, on that kind of stuff. That way, the end product the quality is even better than what we originally came up with.
Yeah,
absolutely. So it'll be more polished and I pick Dawid's brain quite a bit. Hey, what do you think about this? And sometimes he's too busy hanging out with his girlfriends. at the pub. But other
Plural,
than that,
girlfriends, plural.
yeah. Well,
I have no girlfriend.
he's
I
he's
have no. I'm busy with
David.
my work because I
No,
work full
no,
time in university and I have a lot of work. But no,
no.
I wish I could go to the pub with my girlfriends.
Yeah,
I really wish, but my wife doesn't let me.
David is big pimping, man. Big
So
pimping.
Joe, what's the future looking like for Mental Vision games?
Well, hopefully we stay above the ground and we can compete with Harry's company, and then but right now we're just working on finishing CMR. So that's the ultimate goal, and if CMR stays at the status it is right now, up until we're finished, then yeah, we'll roll over to a new project. But the things that we're going to be working on from now until we finish CMR is I'm recruiting for my own development team, because I love IndusNet technologies, and they they kick ass, but I rather have an in-house team and not a contractors. That way I can manage it better, and maybe I'll actually learn something. So
There you go.
when Harry and David and they talk, myself are talking or whatever, and they're talking about these things and that and this, and maybe I'll understand some of the words they say, and say it won't sound like French to me.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I want to thank you guys all for participating today, and stay tuned, everybody in the chat. We will discuss amongst the four of us about some kind of reoccurring technical aspect, technical manual for audio game designers, something to that effect. I really like that idea. I'm excited about that. Each of their links are in the description box below for Mental Vision Games, My True Sound, and Purple Jam. So in the meantime, we'll go back to the order of operation. David, why don't you go ahead and give your closing information?
What type of information, closing information you want?
Whatever you would like to supply, your last words, will and testament, whatever you'd like.
Yeah, what color underwear are you wearing? And
Well, I will. I know one comment perhaps is about the advocacy. There is a lot of people like the illegally cited and the access for gamers. There is also Super Blind Man, people that is trying to call the attention to developers that, hey, make not, and I'm not talking about developers of games, but actually developers of game engines like Unity.
Yeah.
And I think it's very important that we really ask. We had the problem. We wanted to make our game engine accessible for the blind people, but actually we don't know how to do it. But if Unity will take the responsibility that, okay, whatever you create, whatever plugin, don't worry, it will be accessible, and we are investing on it, then things will change, and actually, well, it will be very good. So perhaps we should start to send emails to Unity like crazy, like everybody, every day, like, hey, when are you going to take care of accessibility? Oh, what? Sorry. And I know actually we were actually contacted by somebody from Unity, and well, there was this I am Hamilton, who actually it's the guy that put us in contact or something, and they say, yeah, we are thinking about accessibility, and nothing has changed. Perhaps well, absolutely. When we talk about programming, things takes months, years. But I think it's good that everybody, all the listeners, all the blind people that wants to have a gaming, a professional career, a professional opportunity in the gaming industry or in audiovisual field, that they ask like, hey, make your software accessible because I want to work using it.
That's what,
so
I was talking
that would
to
be my final comment.
I was talking to Liam Irvin. He told me the same thing. He said, Unity is a great engine for accessibility, but if you're visually impaired, you can't use it. It's not.
Yeah, he said me the same. Once we talked, he said, well, I really wish I could, or somehow he expressed the idea that it's very cool you are using Unity, and it's a great tool. It's super good because it's very easy to
It's pretty messy.
create your own planet, but it's very visual.
Oh, there it is.
At this moment, it's fully visual.
Yeah,
So-
it is. So, Harry, why don't you go ahead? Oh, actually, hold on, David. Why don't you go ahead and give out your social information, social media information, so people can find you?
Absolutely, yeah. We are. Our website is mytruesound.com. We have a Twitter account, which is also mytruesound, and also a Facebook account, mytruesound. In Facebook, we also have Audio Wizards account, and actually in Twitter. So in the Audio Wizards account, we publish things related to our game, and in the other account, we publish all type of things related to the company and the games. And we are kind of active on each platform. So whoever wants to join and follow us closer, like, feel free. We answer to all the messages we get. At least that's what we try. And yeah, feel free to reach and to follow. So it's true that also sometimes because we are a company, we cannot comment about all the things I would like to comment. For instance, if somebody is talking about politics, perhaps I have an opinion, but I can't share it because I try to be a bit neutral on those things. I actually don't care about politics so much anymore. But yeah, basically what we talk in our social media, it's about us, but we like to also read about others. So if you follow me, if you follow us, be sure we follow you and we read your tweets and your comments, because that's how it works.
Very good. Thank you, David.
Oh,
Harry,
you're welcome.
Harry, go ahead.
Sure. Okay. First of all, thanks again for inviting me. I'll get in touch with Ebon Sky Studios and the developers of Lost and Hound and see if I can get those into another sort of round table discussion thing.
Excellent. Yeah.
Because they're both making audio games. Ebon Sky Studios are actually currently making a game engine, so a blind accessible audio game development engine to make audio RPGs.
Nice.
I've forgotten the name of their lead guy, but I spoke to him. He's a lovely bloke. I'll send you a link.
Okay.
So yeah, let's get that going. We're by we're I mean myself and Connor and Jordan. We're pretty active with the game social media stuff. So if you Google Pitch Black ADuskLightStory, we'll be on all of those. We do weekly videos about development, and yeah, that's where all the news will be. And again, thanks for having me, and that's it.
Great. Thank you, Harry. Much appreciated. Alrighty, and the long-winded up next, Joe.
Long-winded? What's that mean? All right, well, I'll make it short and simple. If you need to contact Joe from Mental Vision, go ahead and I'll give you guys, and I'll have Whistler in the comments. Put David and Harry and Whistler's home telephone numbers in my contact information, and you can contact them, and then if they feel like you deserve to be connected with me, then they'll allow you to do so.
Mine's very, very easy to remember. It's 911.
I thought it was 8765309.
Is that 213 or 817?
I thought it was 001.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I'm the original gangster.
Anyway, all due respect, Joe, and this is why I let you go last, is because you kind of got this whole thing to go. So,
yeah,
floor is yours.
Yeah, I'm glad that we were able to get this together finally. We've been trying to do it for almost 2 months to have a sit down with all three of us, and it finally worked out. And I feel blessed that we were able to do this, and definitely looking forward to future friendships that we can make. We only have 3 wheels right now. We need 1 more, and we'll be a car, a developer car that can travel the world. And like I like to tell everyone, Harry being in Europe, in England, and Dawid being wherever the hell he's from, and then Mental Vision here, and it's the world is such a smaller place when we are all helping each other, and it doesn't seem like such a big place. So,
Absolutely, very true.
Making friendships and helping each other along the way to be successful is the right way to do things. And I'm glad that we were able to recruit Harry as our new buddy, and we're gonna be kicking ass and making better products as we go.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you guys for coming on. I really do appreciate it, and we will be in touch for the next edition. And if anybody has any questions post live show, then you can absolutely post them in the comments below. You can email me, whistler@theoryoflyman.com. Don't forget, you can check this out on Anchor.fm, on the Anchor app. What else? Apple Podcast or Google Music Play, blah 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 blah. But until next time, everybody, have a great rest of your weekend, and we will see you next time.
Whizzle dizzle.
Thank you. See you.
Thank you guys.
Later.